con interpreter Spanish.
Good morning. Christian Luis Reyes and then Pedrosa Aguiar.
Señor,
All right, what does the state feels appropriate on Luis Reyes?
¿qué siente la fiscalía que es apropiado con Luis Reyes?
Your Honor, the state is seeking bail in the amount of $5,000.
Su señoría, la fiscalía está pidiendo fianza en un monto de $5,000,
along with pretrial services supervision with a no contact order with the victim,
junto con los servicios previos al juicio, supervisión con una orden de no contacto con la víctima,
as well as no firearms or weapons.
tampoco armas de fuego, no armas.
That request is based on the facts of the case as articulated in the probable cause declaration,
Esa petición se basa en los hechos en el caso que se había nombrado en la declaración de causa probable,
as well as speaking with the victim prior to court, who did relay that she is seeking a no contact order.
también hablando con la víctima antes de aquí estar en el tribunal, que ha dicho de que él está pidiendo una orden de no contacto.
She did convey that she is very afraid of the defendant and any retribution that will come from calling the police.
Ella dijo de que ella tenía mucho miedo del acusado y que ella sentía de que él se iba a tomar represalias porque había llamado a la policía.
She, again, is in fear of him getting out of custody.
De nuevo, ella tiene temor de que él salga en libertad.
The defendant's 21 years of age and doesn't have any adult criminal history showing on his history.
El acusado tiene 21 años de edad y no tiene antecedentes penales como adulto.
However, we also know that he currently has a federal hold.
Sin embargo, sabemos que actualmente tiene una orden de retención federal.
So based on all of that information, the state does believe that the amount of bail in those conditions are appropriate.
Sin embargo, basándose en la información, la fiscalía cree que el monto de fianza con esas condiciones es apropiado.
Ms. Cook?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Gracias, su señoría.
In speaking with my client, he does have employment as a sushi chef where he has been working with that restaurant for a year and a half.
Hablando con mi cliente, él ha dicho de que él tiene empleo como un asistente de chef de sushi, donde él ha estado trabajando en ese restaurante por 1 año y medio.
He has been living in Reno for approximately 3 to 4 years and does have a telephone number.
Él ha estado viviendo en Reno aproximadamente 3 a 4 años y tiene un número de teléfono.
As the state indicated, this incident does represent his first arrest.
Como indicó la fiscalía, este es su primer arresto.
And due to the fact that Mr. Luis Reyes does have an alternative residence separate from the alleged victim where he could reside, I believe an own recognizance release is appropriate.
Y basándose en el hecho de que el señor Reyes tiene una residencia alternativa separada con la presunta víctima donde vive, creo de que él puede salir en libertad bajo palabra de honor si eso es apropiado.
In addition to the protection order that the alleged victim indicated pursuing, the court could also impose a no contact order pursuant to statute, as well as the no firearms or weapons clauses as the state indicated.
Además de la protección, de la orden de protección, de que la presunta víctima ha indicado que ella quiere, se puede imponer una orden de no contacto de acuerdo a la ley y que se imponga que no porte armas ni tenga armas de fuego.
Because the defendant scores a low risk to reoffend.
Porque el acusado salió un poco bajo riesgo de que vuelva a reincidir.
And has no prior criminal history.
Y no tiene antecedentes penales.
And would likely make the bail that's requested by the state.
Y lo más probable es que pueda pagar la fianza que ha pedido la fiscalía.
Feel I must release him on his own recognizance.
Entonces siento de que lo voy a dejar en libertad bajo palabra de honor.
No contact with the victim.
No contacto con la víctima.
Separate criminal offense pursuant to NRS 1784845.
Esto es un delito penal separado de acuerdo a la ley 178-4845
For the maximum 120 days.
por un máximo de 120 días.
No firearms.
No portar armas de fuego.
Check in with pretrial services as ordered.
Y tiene usted de que reportarse con los servicios previos al juicio como ha sido ordenado.
We'll see him Friday, July 24th at 9:30 a.m. for the filing of the criminal complaint.
Ok, nos vamos a ver entonces el viernes 24 a las 9:30 para ver si van a presentar el documento acusatorio.
That concludes this matter. Next is
Eso
Pedroza Giving.
concluye esta causa. El siguiente es Pedrosa Aguirre.
What does the state feels appropriate on this matter?
¿Qué se siente que es apropiado en esta causa?
Your Honor, based on the risk assessment of 5 and no other criminal history,
Su señoría, basándose en la evaluación de riesgo que salió un 5 y que no tiene antecedentes penales,
the state is not going to object to releasing the defendant on her own recognizance.
la fiscalía no se va a oponer a de que ella pueda salir bajo palabra de honor.
We are seeking pretrial services supervision along with testing for controlled substances.
Estamos pidiendo los servicios previos al juicio y esa supervisión junto con las pruebas de abuso de sustancias ilícitas.
And I'll submit it on that.
Con eso lo dejo a su criterio.
Any objection?
No, Your
¿Alguna
Honor.
objeción? No, su señoría.
That'll be the order.
Esa será la
July
orden.
24th at 9:30 a.m. is the next court date.
24 de julio a las 9:30 de la mañana es su próxima audiencia.
Does anyone else of the jail need the services of the Spanish interpreter?
¿Alguien más en la cárcel necesita los servicios de la intérprete en español?
All right, thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you. You have a good day.
De La Cruz and then Indiano.
Your Honor, we do have private counsel here for Mr. Patel. I don't know if the court would want to take his case out of order.
Sure. Akash Patel and then De La Cruz.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. What's the state feels appropriate on this matter?
Your Honor, based on a review of the probable cause declaration, it's evident that this will be a second time DUI, not a third. Based on that information and the defendant's score of 9, which is higher, but his criminal history consists only of prior DUIs, that one from 2022. And then the conviction in 2019, but offense date for his first DUI is 2019 as well. And then he's got a 2015 minor in possession of alcohol. All of those offenses are out of California. But based on that information, state's not going to object to releasing him on his own recognizance. We are, however, based on the continued conduct, asking for pretrial services supervision with daily testing for alcohol to begin with. And I'll submit it on that.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
That'll be the order. July 24th at 9:30 a.m. is the next court date for the filing of the criminal complaint. See that.
All right.
De La Cruz and then Indiano.
And Judge, very quickly, I see Miss Martin is here. I believe she is the victim on the Luis Reyes case that we have already done.
All right. Ma'am, what would you like to say on the Luis Reyes matter? Go ahead and unmute yourself if there's anything you'd like to say. Otherwise, I can tell you what we did.
Is that me?
No, I believe it's
Oh,
No, I
okay.
don't think you're
I thought
on
it was-
the Luis Reyes matter.
No,
I
I don't think
it's-
so either.
Miss Viviana Martin? I don't know if she speaks.
There you go. Do you speak English?
No, español.
I'm gonna try and get her back.
Counsel, what do you want to do?
I-
Ms. Costello?
I can certainly ask that our advocate reach out to Miss Martin. I would like her to know as soon as possible that the defendant was released on the case, so she has that information, but I can try to get a Spanish speaking advocate to reach out to her.
Well, let's do this. She has a constitutional right to address the court. So let's see if we can get Mr. Luis Reyes back and the interpreter.
I just sent her a message.
Let's handle De La Cruz and then Indiano. Mr. De La Cruz, do you want the services of the public defender?
Is there any way to send it back?
Do you have any income?
Okay, appreciate it.
Mr. De La Cruz, do you have any income?
I do not, sir.
All right, I'll appoint you the public defender. What does state feels appropriate regarding bail?
Your Honor, state seeking $1,000 bail for Mr. De La Cruz, along with RJC monitoring, with a no contact order with the CVS located on Plum Lane. We do believe, although it's a misdemeanor offenses, we do believe bail is appropriate based on his very lengthy criminal history. I noted 64 cases just out of Reno Municipal Court, did get the maximum number of points for failure to appear and a 14 on the risk assessment. He's last, again, his conviction earlier this year for drinking, possessing alcohol in public out of Reno Municipal Court, and then very similar type offenses, like I said, with a very lengthy criminal history. So based on all of those facts and the defendant's continued violation of our laws, the state believes the $1,000 is appropriate.
Thank you, defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. In speaking to Mr. De La Cruz, he is not able to afford any monetary bail. He is not receiving any type of assistance and is unhoused. And so we would be requesting that he be released on his own recognizance with monitoring by the court and the no contact order with CVS on Plum Lane.
Right, thank you. The state shown by clear and convincing evidence that bail is necessary to ensure the safety of the community and appearance of the defendants because have not been presented any least restrictive means that will adequately address the risk the defendant poses. I must impose bail of $1,000, no contact, pretrial services supervision, no bail laws, my court appearances July 24th at 9:30 a.m. to the defendant's next court date. We'll see him back then. Indiano and then Benson.
Your Honor, I would request to waive Mr. Indiano's appearance. He is currently in the infirmary and still recovering from his injuries and very medicated at the moment. But I was able to speak with him and get information necessary to proceed.
What does the state feels appropriate on this matter?
And Judge, can we just inquire of Ms. Serrano what case she's here for? I don't recognize her
Sure.
name.
Ms. Serrano, will you unmute yourself, please?
Yes,
case
the name that popped up is actually my mom's. I'm not sure why, but my name is Yarisa Aguilar.
So you are here for Mr. Indiano's case, correct?
I don't know who it is, but I know I'm here for something, yeah.
Okay. Your Honor, she is here for Mr. Indiano's case. So I would ask you to turn to her at the appropriate time. The state is seeking $150,000 bail for Mr. Indiano. That would be with no 10% cash alternative based on the numerous Category B offenses. We're also asking for pretrial services supervision with conditions of house arrest and GPS prior to release, as well as a no firearms or weapons clause, as well as no contact with either of the two named victims, which would be Miss Aguilar, Uriza, as well as Angel Bernal Rodriguez. We believe that bail and those conditions are necessary in order to provide safety for our community. Obviously, the facts of this case are very egregious. The defendant did possess what appears to be I believe it's a BB gun, that he shot after trying to rob, the victims of their vehicle, shot into the vehicle, used the weapon, against, Miss Aguilar, hitting her in the face. He scores as a 10 on the risk assessment. He has a very violent criminal history, which starts back in 1999 when he was convicted of coercion out of the 8th Judicial District Court, convicted of robbery that year as well, domestic battery in 2004, another felony conviction for aggravated assault in 2008 out of Arizona, felony conviction for misconduct involving weapons and marijuana possession, both felonies out of Arizona in 2009, an assault misdemeanor in 2013 out of Arizona, felony conviction for child abuse in 2014, an evading felony out of the 8th Judicial District Court. 2017, another 2 different convictions for assault misdemeanors out of Arizona, another felony conviction in 2018 for misconduct involving weapons out of Arizona, assault with a deadly weapon in 2021 out of Las Vegas 8th Judicial, 2025 gross misdemeanor conviction for unlawful occupancy out of the 8th Judicial District Court. And then finally, this year, he was convicted of possessing a personal identification with intent to defraud. That was out of California, out of Santa Barbara earlier this year. And then he obviously, I believe, when he was arrested on this case, picked up misdemeanor offenses of obstructing and resisting and possession of drug paraphernalia that are being routed to Reno Municipal Court. So extremely violent, lengthy criminal history, which these facts certainly represent more of that conduct. So we certainly believe that the $150,000 with those conditions is necessary for community safety in this case.
All right, thank you, defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. And speaking with Mr. Indiano, he does not have the ability to afford the amount of bail that is being requested by the state. We were able to speak with his father, who indicated that Mr. Indiano could reside with him if he were able to be released from custody. And so based on his inability to afford, we would ask that the court obviously would need to set monetary bail in his case, given his history and the nature of this case, but would request it not be set at the amount of $150,000 as requested by the state.
All right, and then ma'am, what did you want to say?
I just wanted to say, I think it was just unfair how we weren't doing anything wrong. He could have really hurt my unborn child. I was scared, and thankfully nothing ended wrong. My face is getting better, but I definitely was scared, and mostly for the concern of my unborn child.
All right, thank you. State shown by clear and convincing evidence that bail is necessary to ensure the safety of the community and the appearance of the defendant have not been presented any least restricted means. Alternatives that will sufficiently address those risks. Bail will be $250,000, no contact with the victims, separate criminal offense pursuant to NRS 178-4845 for the maximum 120 days. Residential confinement in place before release, no firearms, checking with pretrial services as ordered, no bail laws, make all court appearances July 24th. At 9:30 a.m. is the defendant's next court date. See you back then. Benson. And then Deanna Gentis. All right, what does state feels appropriate on Mr. Benson's case?
Your Honor, even though he has a lower risk assessment score, the state is seeking bail in the amount of $25,000. That is based on the overall facts of the case, as outlined by Detective Jameson in the probable cause declaration. I think the court can see that this was an ongoing operation. The detectives were alerted to controlled substance sales out of the Horseshoe motel. The defendant was seen there several days entering in and out of these rooms where this drug trafficking or drug dealing was taking place. When they saw him enter a car, they followed him, ended up conducting a traffic stop, and then found the firearm in the crossbody bag that the defendant had been wearing right before he left the hotel or motel. We know that the defendant does not have ties to our community. As we've seen before, Mr. Benson and other cohorts come from Stockton up to our area. They introduce guns, they introduce sex trafficking, they introduce controlled substances to our community. Again, he scores a 4 on the risk assessment. I don't show any adult criminal history. However, based on the defendant's conduct and the use or finding of a firearm in this case, the state certainly believes that a higher bail is appropriate. We're seeking that $25,000 with no 10% cash alternative based on the possession of a stolen firearm charge. That firearm was stolen earlier this year off of an individual who was riding his bike. We were also seeking pretrial services supervision with house arrest and GPS prior to release based on his lack of ties to our community. We would seek no firearms clause during the pendency of this case. Ken, I spoke with Detective Jameson at length in regards to this case. And he certainly is opposed to the defendant being released on his own recognizance.
All right, defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. In regards to Mr. Benson's case, this incident represents his first arrest. He does not have the ability to afford any monetary bail. In regards to his MPRA score, we were able to confirm that he has lived on Gear Street in Northwest Reno for about a year with his girlfriend. She was also able to confirm that he does construction work daily. She wasn't sure exactly when his next shift is. So we were able to verify work as well as a stable residence for a year, as well as means to contact him. And so given that he would not score for anything on the risk assessment, I think that given the nature of what he was arrested for in this incident, the court could impose pretrial release conditions to include that he not possess any firearms or weapons, given, again, what he was arrested for. But given his lack of history and his low risk on the risk assessment, I believe that an own recognizance release is required in his case with that, with those conditions.
Good that the defendant won chance, but I'm going to add residential confinement before release. So he won't be able to go to these locations that he's involved in this criminal activity. So own recognizance release, residential confinement in place before release, no firearms, check in with pretrial services as ordered, obey laws, make all court appearances. July 24th at 9:30 a.m. defendant's next court date. Let's go back to Luis Reyes. Do we have Mr.
Luis Reyes. Luis
Jail.
Reyes.
Great, thank you so much for getting him back.
You're so welcome.
Can the victim hear me?
¿Escucha a la
Miss
víctima?
Interpreter,
Sí.
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Martin?
the interpreter, the victim also speaks Spanish.
Yes. Thank
Ms.
you.
Martin, can you unmute yourself, please?
Señora Martín, por favor, quite el del micrófono el silencio para escucharla.
Hola. Ya.
Hello.
Thank you. What would you like to say to me?
¿Qué es lo que quiere decirme?
Pues no sé, solo quiero saber qué va a pasar con Cristian.
I don't know. I just want to know what's going to happen with Christian.
So the law allows you to address the court
La ley le permite que usted se dirija al tribunal
regarding any fears you have of the defendant and what you feel I should do.
lo que tenga que ver con cualquier temor que usted tenga de el acusado y lo que usted crea que yo deba hacer.
Pues él me ha golpeado, me ha maltratado y Pues lo que decidan, si lo sacan, pero ya no quiero que vuelva cerca de mí, ya no quiero que se acerque porque ya no quiero más problema.
He has hidden me. He has been abusive. So whatever you decide, but I don't want him near me. I want him to stay away. I don't want any more problems.
Okay. I'm going to order that he stays away from you.
Voy a ordenar que él se mantenga alejado de usted.
Sí.
Yes.
But because he doesn't have any prior criminal history, I am going to let him out.
Pero como él no tiene antecedentes penales, lo voy a dejar salir.
¿Está bien?
All right?
If he has any contact with you, please call the police. It is a separate crime for him to have any contact with you.
Si él llega a hacer que tenga algún tipo de contacto con usted, usted llame inmediatamente a la policía porque ese sería otro delito separado si él tiene contacto con usted.
Ok, está bien.
Okay, all right.
All right, thank you. Have a good day. Thank you,
Bueno.
everybody, for arranging that.
Gracias, buen día.
Gracias.
Thank you.
All right, Gentis. Deanna Gentis and then Wilson.
Oh, sure.
What was the state feels appropriate on this matter?
What? You don't talk. Okay.
Your Honor, the state, hold on one moment. Even though Ms. Gentes or Gentes has a very large risk assessment score, state's not going to object to releasing her on her own recognizance. We are recommending Reno Justice Court monitoring. She does have limited history. It's all misdemeanors and it appears to revolve around the same type of offenses that have all been pled down to possession of drug paraphernalias. Unfortunately, she does have a history of non-compliance as well, but based on the offense and the facts, the state's still going to recommend that own recognizance release.
All right, any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, that'll be the order. July 24th at 9:30 a.m. is the finished next court date. I believe the interpreter can leave for a second time. Sorry, as can Miss Martin.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
And then Reno Justice Court monitoring with her.
I did pretty close. I don't know what RJC monitoring means.
I wanted to confirm. And is she testing or no?
No,
Okay, thank you.
thank you. Wilson and then Cocroft.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. What is the state feels appropriate on this matter?
Judge, on Mr. Wilson, the state is seeking $20,000 bail, along with pretrial services supervision with daily alcohol testing. That is based on the defendant's charge, which is a DUI third. He scores a 5 on the risk assessment. His criminal history is pretty similar. We know that he was convicted in March of this year for DUI second, or excuse me, it reads DUI first. We're gonna have to look and see exactly what that means. That's out of Sparks Municipal Court. He is under a suspended sentence for that case. And then 2023, he was also convicted of DUI, also out of Sparks Municipal Court. 2022, he has a minor in possession citation. Looks like no charges were filed on that. However, based on the small length of time that the defendant continues to drive while under the influence, the state does believe the bail and the testing requirements are necessary.
All right, thank you, defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. In speaking with Mr. Wilson, he is not able to afford that amount of bail. He has lived in this area for his entire life. He has been living at the same residence for the past 18 years with his mother. He has been working with the same employer for the past 10 months. 9 months of those were on as a temp and then just recently got it hired on as a permanent basis. He does have a phone. In his case, obviously, you know, the issue looking at his history is whether it's controlled substances or alcohol. And so what I would ask is that he be released on his own recognizance. He and I did discuss being on house arrest and doing continuous or daily testing for controlled substances and or alcohol to mitigate any risk that he might pose to the community.
So as I've said before, the DUI court across the street has tremendous success. Less than 1% recidivism rate while they're in that program. So I'm just gonna, and nationally DUI offenders, when properly tested and monitored, do very well. So while he poses a great risk to the community, we can manage that risk. So therefore, I'm compelled to release him on his own recognizance. Residential confinement in place before release, because that's one of the things they'll do across the street. Random drug testing, daily alcohol testing, daily mutual support group meetings until in treatment, pretrial services supervision, bail laws, make a court appearances, July 24th at 9:30 a.m. That's next court date. We'll see you back then. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Cocroft and then Faria.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. What does the state feel is appropriate on this matter?
Again, Your Honor, based on the facts of the case, the state is not going to object to releasing the defendant on his own recognizance. We're not seeking any testing.
All right. Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Or pretrial services monitoring only July 24th at 9:30 a.m. Defendant's next court date. We'll see you back then, sir. Faria and then Grant.
Yeah, you'll get out today. So,
You got nothing else? Okay.
yep.
All right. What does the state feel is appropriate on this matter?
Your Honor, we are seeking a one-day continuance in order to comply with Marcy's law. We have made attempts this morning, but I believe 24 hours is appropriate to allow the victim time to appear if she so wishes.
All right, Mr. Faria, we'll see you tomorrow. Grant should be our last one.
I don't know if they're gonna go forward on Haley.
Oh, he might.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know if they're,
I'll call him.
okay.
Do we have Ms. Robbie Grant up at the jail? And then Haley, I guess, would be our last matter.
Your Honor, it was my understanding that the state was going to be requesting a one-day continuance for Marcy's law in his case, so we did not have him transported.
All right.
That
What
is
about
correct,
Haley?
Your Honor.
Your Honor, Mr. Haley is not present. I did have the opportunity to speak with him this morning, so I could go forward.
Okay. What does the state feel is appropriate on these two matters?
Your Honor, on his new case, we are asking, hold on, let me pull up his revocation case. We are asking for $1,000 bail on the nuisance in a building case. We're then asking to revoke his bail on the TPO case and set a bail of $5,000 in that case. Obviously, the defendant was on monitoring or pretrial services. I believe he actually had bailed out, provided bail in the TPO case. Either way, he's under pretrial services supervision when he commits this new offense. He scores a 9 on the risk assessment. He does have other criminal history. He has, in addition to those, he's actually picked up a new citation out of Reno Municipal Court for trespassing. That citation was written on July 2nd, so post that TPO case. And he has an arraignment set in that case on August 5th. He has a misdemeanor conviction for violation of an EPO domestic violence matter out of Reno Justice Court. It looks like he did cap court. He's failed to appear several times during that matter. He was non-compliant and he was finally removed in August of 2025. He has convictions for obstructing and resisting in 2025, possession of drug paraphernalia out of Carson City in 2024, resisting disturbing the peace out of Reno Justice Court that same year. Again, he had multiple failures to appear in pretrial violations related to that Reno Justice Court case after posting $1,000 cash. And then finally, a misdemeanor conviction for disturbing the peace back in 2023 out of Sparks Justice Court. So not only does the defendant continue to pick up new offenses, he also has failures to comply and pretrial violations on other cases. So the state does believe the 1,000 on the new case and revoking and setting at 5,000 on the older case would be appropriate.
All right, thank you, defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. And speaking with Mr. Haley, he is currently not able to afford any bail in either one of these two matters. He currently is residing at the CARES campus and has been doing so because of the TPO case. He is not currently receiving any public assistance other than the case management or resources that they have available at the CARES campus, but in terms of any income or financial assistance, he does not have food stamps or Medicaid or disability, anything along those lines. So we are asking for him to be reinstated on RCR 2026-135389, and then for him to be released on his own recognizance for the new arrest.
All right, thank you. The defendant's behavior is shown by clear and convincing evidence that bail is necessary to ensure the safety of the community and appearance of the defendant. On the new case, RPC 2026-67945 would be $2,000 and no contact order, as well as pretrial services supervision. Court date July 24th, 9:30 a.m. On the old case, the bail is revoked, the cash is refunded. New bail is $15,000, no contact, separate criminal offense pursuant to NRS 178-4845, maximum 120 days, pretrial services supervision, no firearms. And the next court date on that matter is the trial that's already been set for August 13th.
So,
Your Honor, that was
9 a.m.
15,000. Thank
and
you.
you're doing no contact on the new case?
Yeah, with the, not the person,
It's-
just the.
It was here.
With the court,
Oh,
Yeah.
it was, yes, it was on the third floor resource center.
you're right, the resource center.
Okay.
That's right. I knew that.
Okay.
You told me that earlier.
Yeah.
I forgot. Sorry.
No worries.
Anything else, ladies?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
No, thanks.
All right, have a good day.